Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, as you have already maybe noticed that I have changed the name of my channel from All About Books to Isabella Evans. Now, this is also my Instagram. If you want to go and follow, I'll trying to be really like active with posting and all of that. So, as you've already read the title, this book is on Cora Reilly's new release, By Virtue I Fall, which is the third book in the Sins of Father series. I've already made a video on the first two books of the series, which were on Marcella and Maddox. If you haven't checked it out, we'll put the link in the eye. Check it out. Um, Now, this book, first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit of. I'm going to read out the blurb, then the review, and then I'm going to read out the first chapter for all of you. And then there will be a second video, which I will upload really soon. I won't, keep a lot of gap between both the videos, in which I will read out further chapters, or like we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for that. So, a little bit of background first of all. This book is on Anna and Santino. Anna is the daughter of Dante and Val, on whom the second book in the Born and Blood Mafia Chronicles was based, which is bound by duty, and Santino, who is actually her bodyguard. Now, I'll read the blurb, then we'll go into the review so that you'll understand things more better. Love is an inconvenience Anna Cavallaro doesn't have time for. She only has one goal: to become a fashion designer. Chicago's elite already copies her style religiously, not least because she is the daughter of the city's notorious mafia boss. When she is accepted at the world famous Fashion Institute in Paris, her father's condition is to take her bodyguard along. Anna definitely wouldn't mind a few weeks of no strings attached fun with her brooding protector. Santino Bianchi became the outfit enforcer because he liked the thrill of the hunt and kill. Babysitting his capo's daughter is an honorable assignment he can't refuse. His thoughts about Anna? Not so honorable. Santino's ignored Anna's persistent flirting for years. Now, far away from home, boundaries begin to blur. But Santino doesn't have any intention to be reason for a failed engagement and the ensuing scandal. A summer fling in Paris. Only two things stand in Anna's way: Santino's iron will and her fiancé. Okay, so this book is exceptionally long because it spans over a really long time, from when Anna is 13 14 years, when Santino is actually appointed to be her bodyguard, to when she's 22 or something. The book ends there. So in the middle there are so many events when Anna is growing up, she's graduating, her marriage is being finalized with Clifford Clark. Then she's going to Paris for studying fashion, and then she's coming back. There's all the marriage drama with Clifford, and then the climax. So it's like a pretty big plot. Now, frankly speaking, Dante is the Chicago side of the outfit has never been my favorite. I've always been the fan of the New York side, the Luca, Matteo, and all of that. So yeah, but and also the first two books in the series. Check it out if you haven't already seen the video or you don't know about the book. They were a little disappointing. All the readers have waited so much for the Sins of Father series, but like the first two books were not to the expectation, and this one was definitely better than the first two books. That is for sure. The plot line was so much better, but there was something that was missing, or maybe because the plot was so long, like at some point you feel like, oh my god, when is this going to come to an end? So like you should not feel that when you're reading one of your favorite writer's book. So that was a little disappointing. Now let me tell you a little about about the plot first of all. Santino becomes Anna's bodyguard when she's 13 or 14, as I've already said. He doesn't want to take this job because he wants to do the job of an enforcer, where there's a lot of use of hands and blood and killing and all that. But when your capo asks something from you, you do it. And protecting his daughter it's supposed to be a precious job. He goes to refuse it, but his father somehow convinces him, which when I read the first chapter, you know about it. Then Anna from the very beginning have had a crush on him, and she has been giving a lot of hints. But he has been very strict, and he only sees her as a child. Uh, and there were certain things which I didn't like about the book. I mean, and then she is decided to be married off to Clifford, where they decide like till the marriage they're gonna have an open relationship. Not exactly an open relationship, but like they didn't commit to each other till they didn't want to commit to each other till the marriage. That was Clifford's idea, and Anna had no problem following it because she didn't have any feelings or anything for Clifford, so she didn't mind him being with someone else till their marriage. Then she goes to Paris, where everything changes. She and Santino become close, and Anna's all the her like all her attempts of flirting finally hits him, and he gives in. And like for 3 years, something, some months, they are like together. They have to keep it secret, but like in the apartment they're both alone, so like it's kind of like they're dating. But like when they visit Chicago, or when her parents visit her, they have to keep it professional. uh, so when they go back, things become difficult because during this like period of 3 years they become really close. Now Anna has her mindset that it was only a fling and she's gonna go back and marry Clifford. But at the bottom she knows that what she has with Santino she's not gonna find with anyone else. And same for him, he wants her to choose. And when they come back, it was initially decided that Santino would give up his job. Like he would no longer be the bodyguard and he would go back to being the enforcer. But then he decides that till marriage he's going to be her bodyguard, and like they were supposed to end things after coming to Chicago, but like things continue till the marriage, and then there's like a big accident scene. So and then everything is revealed, and like I don't want to give out the climax, but like yeah, like the ending portion, like the 1/3 portion at the end is like superb. It's really good, filled with action and all that. So like yeah, it keeps you on your toes. Now a little about the characters. Anna, she is a spoiled brat, but she's also very sensible. uh, Now a little bit about the characters. Now Anna is she's the daughter of the capo. She's the ice princess. She is cunning. She goes after what she wants. Like Santino, she has like from a like she didn't give up on Santino. She was after him for a really long time, and finally she got him. And she has a lot of bounds and reputations. She understands her responsibility. So that's the reason why when she gets a chance to go to Paris, it's like a ticket to freedom for 3 years or 3.5, for how long her study is. And Santino, he is, uh, he's just a very brooding mafia man who has to give up killing and be a babysitter kind of. And he's hot, and there's an age gap of some 10 years between them. Also, one, he prefers older women. He doesn't mind if they are married. So it's like the most awkward scenes for me to read was when Anna caught Santino with two different women, like at two different times, and they were both married. One of them was like the wife of one of the other mafia men, at a party, and the other was it was actually her fiance Clifford's birthday party, and she caught Santino with Clifford's mom, and that was like a bomb. And that is, and she took pictures and all that, to blackmail him if if she can use it to her advantage. And actually they at the end used it together as a, like, they both used it together, but like, yeah, the photos came to use and all that. So yeah, I mean, that part was like really spicy, and I really liked it, like the suspense and everything. But yeah, him being with other women, and then I didn't like reading that part. So now, without wasting much time, I'll read out the first chapter in the book. Chapter 1, Santino. I was a loyal soldier. Being enforcer for the Chicago outfit had been a matter of pride. That I enjoyed breaking bones and my task allowed me to do had been an additional bonus. I was good at it, I enjoyed it. What I didn't enjoy was listening to the insane chatter of a teenage girl. Unfortunately, my brutal talents had led to my capo asking me to become his daughter's personal guard. Playing bodyguard slash babysitter to his oldest spawn had never been my idea of serving the cause. You can't say no, my father had argued, his eyes wide with alarm when I told him what I was considering to do. I am not like you, Dad. I don't have the patience to hover beside a spoiled mafia woman and listen to her endless bitching with her friends. I am a soldier, not a nanny. You can't say no to the capo. It's an honor. I shook my head. I want to work with my hands. I want to break bones. I want to destroy our enemies. You should reconsider your decision, Dad said imploringly. If your capo asks you to become his daughter's bodyguard, there's only one viable answer, Santino, and that's a yes. I had absolutely no intention of reconsidering my decision or saying a yes, no matter what Dad said. Arturo and I were a good team. Arturo is his friend with whom he did the job of an enforcer. Arturo and I were good friends. We had been working together as enforcers for years, and yet it never got boring. Why would I give up that job? For a job I undoubtedly despised. Why don't you come over to our house to tell me your decision? Dante had said during our brief phone call. 5 o'clock. He hung up before I could tell him my answer over the phone. Sighing, I resigned myself to a fucking awkward meeting with my capo. Dante had a way with his words, plus a subtle cunning that made people do what he wanted. I rang the bell, glancing back at my black 1969 Camaro, hoping I would be back inside it, racing down the streets of Chicago soon. These kinds of social engagement were the bane of my fucking existence, and I usually avoided them. It wasn't Dante who opened the door, nor the maid. In front of me, smiling in a sophisticated, polite way, stood Valentina Cavallaro. She was tall, with long brown hair and green eyes that trapped you like a cat did a mouse. That she could make me feel like one of these small fluff balls of vermin made me even more wary to work in their household. I gave her a nod and a polite smile in return. Your husband asked me to come over. Oh, I know, she said. I thought it would be a great idea to have our daughter right away meet you. Why wait? I cleared my throat, about to say what I had come here to say when Dante appeared behind Valentina and put a hand on her shoulder. Santino, he said with a curt nod. I'm glad that Anna will have such a capable bodyguard at her side. Valentina said, not missing a beat, giving me a smile of a woman who had a subtle way of getting her will, and seeing it, I knew exactly why. The thing is, I began as Valentina ushered me in. Both Dante and Valentina looked at me. Yes? Valentina asked. My father's words flew around my brain like an annoying fly you couldn't swat away. Standing in the Cavallaro mansion, and seeing their expectant faces, I realized there was no way I could refuse their offer. At least not yet. Maybe I could work as a bodyguard for a year or two and then ask Dante to put me back to the task of torturing people for information. Kids usually can't stand me, I said, which wasn't really the truth. Kids were drawn to me like flies to shit, but I didn't have the necessary patience to stand their presence. Valentina laughed. Oh, don't worry. Anna gets along with everyone. She's very sociable and an empathetic girl. Of course. Why did parents always think their kids were God's gift to humankind? Highly talented, well behaved altruists, when most of them were annoying, spoiled brats with egomaniac tendencies and a penchant for honesty that bordered on cruelty. I am sure she is. Steps rang out upstairs and a flash of brown hair popped up at the top stair. Anna Cavallaro practically frolicked down the stair, her ponytail bobbing up and down in the most annoying way possible. An icing on the cake, she was dressed in a checkered costume. Even a woman in her 50s would feel old. She flashed me a smile, her eyes sparkled with excitement. She pushed her hand in my direction, peering up at me. Nice to meet you. I forced a smile that felt like it might actually freeze over my fucking face muscles. Pleasure. I gritted out. It was a lie, but from the look in her eyes, she didn't realize it. Dante, however, seemed to look right through me. Yet he didn't look displeased by my lack of excitement over meeting his daughter. He knew my ability to protect her didn't hinge on sympathy. I released her small hand the second proprietary allowed it. Another thing I fucking hated, having to be proper. Now that I'll spend my days around Dante's daughter, my unrestrained cursing and burst of rage were a thing of past. It'll be fun, Anna said. Maybe she thought I would be her friend or her personal playmate. The girl had a nasty surprise waiting for her. I would protect her, for sure. That's what the extent of our bond. That was the extent of our bond. So you'll protect me with your life? She asked with a curious tilt of her head, her blue eyes trying to put me on the spot and test my sincerity. And for the first time in today, I didn't have to lie. I'll protect you until I take my last breath, or until your father shows me mercy and puts me out of my misery. Anna. The first time I met Santino, I almost burst with excitement. I had only briefly seen him before, but even then, his tallness and handsome face had made my belly flip for the first time in my life. I was excited about having him guard me. He seemed like he could be fun to be around and not such a stickler to rules. I thought he and I would get along. Soon I realized that won't be the case. In the beginning, Santino had still tried to mask his annoyance over having to watch me, but it became apparent very quickly. He didn't like children or people in general. He didn't like when I talked. He didn't like when I laughed too loud or when I breathed too close to him. He barely tolerated my existence. I was pretty sure only his sense of duty kept him from strangling Leonas or me. I was angry, really angry. I had been raised to be well behaved, polite, and think before I acted. Mom and Dad were both poised and controlled in public. They were what I aspired to be. Santino sat at the table in the guardhouse with his dad and Mom's second bodyguard, Taft. I swallowed when I stepped into the room but tried to hide my nerves. Can I have a word with Santino? I asked, my voice firm. I felt proud of how confident an adult I sounded. People always told me I was an old soul hiding in the body of a 12-year-old. That didn't stop them from treating me like a kid though. Taft's mouth twitched and he got up. Of course. Santino's dad gave Santino a look I didn't understand before he rose as well. With a brief smile at me, both men left. Santino leaned back in his chair, one brow slanting upward in a way that was probably meant to insult me as well. I had learned to read the twitches of his face as a way to express what he couldn't say aloud. I couldn't take it anymore. If you hate me so much, why did you agree to become my bodyguard? Gone was the poise and the confidence. I sounded hurt and childish, but I couldn't help it. Santino released a momentous sigh, and I could practically hear his thoughts. Here we go. What makes you think I hate you? Because you find everything I do and say annoying? He didn't deny it, and that too stung. I wasn't even sure why I wanted his approval. He was just my bodyguard. Santino leaned forward, his forearm casually propped up on his thighs. You don't know what hatred is if you think I hate you. I don't. But you don't like me. I don't have to like you to protect you. I pressed my lips together, feeling a treacherous burn in my eyes. You shouldn't protect someone you don't like. You should have told my dad no if you hate the job so much. You don't say no if your capo asks you to protect his offspring. People rarely told me the truth unless it was pleasant or even flattering. Santino never spared my feelings. It was what I liked about him, but also detested because I wanted him to be nice to me because he liked me. I stalked away without another word. I didn't want to burst into tears in front of Santino. It would probably only annoy him and embarrass me, and I had already done enough of that. Heavy steps prowled after me. Anna, stop! I didn't, nor did I slow down as I followed the new underground tunnel connecting our house to the guardhouse. Santino caught up with me in our basement, his fingers clamping around my upper arm. I stopped and glared up at his tall form. In case you're concerned I'll do a bad job protecting you because I don't worship the ground you walk on, you don't have to worry. I take my job seriously. I'll protect you with my life, even if you annoy me. That's a consolation, I said, letting the snark I usually only showed to Leonas come through. If Santino didn't bother being polite, I wouldn't either. At first, his disinterest in me and his lack of conversation had bothered me. Eventually, I had learned how to get a reaction out of him. Any kind of reaction, really. It became my favorite pastime to annoy Santino until he couldn't ignore my existence anymore. So guys, that was it. That was the first chapter. I'll make another video, as I've already told in the beginning, which will contain the story in more details, and I'll read further. Maybe, the important bits I'll read. For that, stay tuned. Also, if you want the PDF or the EPUB version of the book, you can let me know in the comments. It's better if you tell me if you email me or you DM me. All the details are in the description. And in case if you email me, just write in the comment section as well, because I sometimes forget to check my email. So yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.